some natives who would be dressed in wolf skins, and then they would run them right off of the cliff. They were using this, from what they could find, for between 5,000 and 6,000 years. Well, hello friends. I am heading into a place called Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump. It's in southern Alberta, and what this is a historic place where natives used to herd bison, and they would actually funnel them and herd them, get them to stampede off of a cliff, and then they would have entire villages set up here, and they would process the meat, which would last them for the rest of the year into the next year's hunt. I don't know too much about it. I'm looking forward to exploring it, and the word buffalo has been used to describe bison, but there's actually no buffalo in North America, although everyone calls them buffalo. They are actually bison, so you'll hear bison and buffalo sort of interchanged. In 1972, when they started excavating this site, it became such a significant find that it actually became a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and that goes with other things like the Great Pyramids in Egypt, Stonehenge, those sorts of things. So it ended up being a very significant historical find, so I look forward to going in and checking out what's here.
As we were excavating them.
That was incredibly fascinating. It was so interesting. There's so much history in there, so many original artifacts, and it was wonderful. So at the top of the trail, once you make it to the 7th floor, you're at the top of the escarpment where the jump actually was. They have a trail right along the edge, and this is where they would have herded the bison across the plains, and they'd come over this ridge, and then right up ahead here is where they would have herded them right off the edge of this cliff. You could easily spend 2, 3, even 4 hours here. By the time you read all of the displays that they have and see all of the artifacts that they have, there's so much history here. And in fact, there's a little video, you can watch a video, and what they would do is whenever they spotted a herd of bison, they would send out what they would call herders. So they would sort of contain them into a funnel shape, and they would create all sorts of debris. They would build like piles of rocks and brush and these sorts of things, and they would set up this funnel pattern leading towards the top of the cliff. And then there would be some natives who would be dressed in wolf skins, so they would stay way back at the perimeter. They would make sure that the bison saw them, but they weren't close enough to alarm them, but they would stay at that perimeter and just slowly edge them towards the funnel of the cliff, and then at the right moment when they were close enough, they would startle them and then force them to stampede. And then once they get into that stampede mentality, they just run, and then they would run them right off of the cliff. Incredibly interesting. So when they discovered this site and they started the archaeological dig, they started digging down, and they found when they started excavating, there was over 30 feet of bison bones stacked up there that they found in the earth. And apparently this is one of the largest buffalo jumps and one of the longest in use buffalo jumps. They were using this, from what they could find, for between 5,000 and 6,000 years. So, and there's a look at the actual cliff right there that they would jump them off. And there's an actual archaeological dig that is still happening right to this very day. They're still finding artifacts. It's an incredibly interesting and profound historical discovery. It's been an absolute history lesson for me today. It's been fantastic. And here's a look from down at the base of the jump. And I think I'll go down, and you're allowed to go right into the archaeological dig. So I think I'm going to go down there and talk to some people and see what I can find out.